Prior to the outbreak of the First World War, the massive potential of the Russian military was feared across Europe. This was despite its stunning defeat in the Russo-Japanese War, 1904-05, which saw the Russian Navy humbled at the Battle of Tsushima. The only true decisive battleship-to-battleship engagement in history. In fact, Germany was so concerned about the Russian potential that it sought to devise a plan to defeat France first before turning its attention to the east. It was a costly mistake that led to 4 years of horrific trench warfare in the First World War, and cost the lives of millions. Throughout the subsequent Soviet era, the mighty bear was once again feared as. It was seen as the only other true superpower apart from the United States. Yet, it was humiliated in a costly decade-long war in Afghanistan. A war that certainly contributed to the eventual dissolution of the Soviet Union. At the start of this year, there were concerns of a resurgent Russia, as it massed its forces for its invasion of Ukraine. Now, nearly 6 months later, history is repeating itself. Moscow is being humbled again by a nation that it expected to easily defeat. What is different this time is that Russia reportedly had the most capable military hardware that should have made for easy work in overrunning Ukraine. Its Sukhoi Su-57 fifth-generation fighter aircraft, S-400 Triumph air defensive systems, and its Ratnik body armor were all seen as highly advanced systems that should have given Russia the edge in any conflict. T-14 Armata, the tank that never really was. Then there is the T-14 Armata, a main battle tank, MBT, that the Kremlin had touted as the most capable in the world. First demonstrated during the May 2015 Victory Parade. It was truly a modern design that wasn't simply the next evolution of tanks that dated back to the T-34. The outline of the tank, from its hull to its long and boxy turret, which resembles Western tank turret designs, was a notable departure from those past Soviet designs. The T-14 also features 7 road wheels instead of the 6 wheels that were commonplace on almost all previous Cold War Soviet and even modern Russian MBTs. Among its innovative characteristics is its unmanned turret, which includes a remotely controlled 125mm 2A82 1M smoothbore main gun with fully automated loading. The turret's magazine contains a total of 45 rounds of ammunition, but the main gun can also fire laser guide missiles. That is located in an armored capsule at the front portion of the hull, isolated from the automatic loader, as well as the ammunition storage in the center of the tank. In addition, the driver, gunner, and tank commander are housed in a crew compartment. The Armata also features a low silhouette that reduces exposure to enemy fire, and enhances the safety and survivability of the 3-man crew. It promised to be a formidable weapon on the battlefield, but Moscow hasn't apparently sent any to the fighting in Ukraine, even as its aging tanks have been destroyed en masse. One issue has been that Russia, which now faces economic hardships due to the international sanctions, is unable to continue producing many of its high-tech weapons. It has relied too heavily on imported components, of which the T-14 Armata required quite a lot. Now, as Europe weans off Russian oil, Moscow will be increasingly hard-pressed to build any additional T-14s. T-14 Armata seems like all hype. It could also be argued that no weapon has been as massively overhyped as the T-14, only to fail to live up to it. That should have been clear when it made that aforementioned debut in 2015, as the tank was unable to cross Red Square after breaking down during parade rehearsals and had to be towed away for repairs. Just 5 years later, there were reports that 3 T-14s were hit by anti-tank weapons in Syria, with one being completely destroyed. It is likely that the Kremlin knows that despite all the hype, the T-14 could be easily destroyed by American FGM-148 Javelins, British MLAWs and Swedish AT-4s. The Kremlin may be concerned that the T-14 likely suffers from the same design flaw of the Cold War-era T-72, which has seen turrets literally blown off in the so-called jack-in-the-box effect when an anti-tank missile strikes the ammunition storage. Western analysts have reportedly known of this problem since the Gulf War in 1991, when Iraqi T-72s suffered catastrophic damage from hits near the turrets, which often killed the crew. About the only saving grace is that the T-14's crew might survive, but the tank would still be left as a ruined hull. At this point, it may simply be a matter of Moscow not wanting to risk the few expensive T-14s it has in its arsenal. It likely knows that the T-14 doesn't live up to the hype. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, also subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.